Controller users rejoice, because this month's update is basically for you. I have finally redid the main menu. I mean, it's basic, right? It's still basic. But we have a little bit of a nicer menu, a nicer background. Everything, of course, is temporary right now. But we have some additional options. If we go in here, we can change the window mode, the resolution. Currently, there's 4 set in stone, but later on, I'll look into how to adjust it based on the resolutions that are available to the person. You can change, of course, the window mode, the graphics quality, turn on VSync, and there's now language. Now, currently we have English and Brazilian Portuguese. And if I select Brazilian Portuguese and hit apply, you'll see the entire language changes. We can go back in here, of course, and change it back to English if we so like. This affects everything. So if I start the game right now, the text in here hasn't changed because that is not set up for it. But if I press backspace and get access to all the cards available, you can see every single one of them is now in Brazilian Portuguese. And that's going to be how it's going to be for languages in the future. You'll be able to select from a language option that hopefully will suit you, and everything in the game, of course, will adjust to it. But now that we're here, it seems there's still some issue where sometimes it will attack when you try to dash, and then your attack button will stop working. And then if I press attack with the left click, then it works again. I tried to fix it, and it was working for a little while, but it seems again in the package build, it's a little bit different. So I'm going to revisit this. So there's still a little bit of a bug, but if you get selected on the controller, you can go ahead and enter the actual deck building. And here you can see I am changing the selection with the controller. I can press A and just add the cards right to my deck. And I can swap between the two versions by just using R2 and L2. R2 will select the deck. L2 will select the collection. And here I can look through these and say, I don't want it. Press A and it'll go back to the other one and can swap between them. Now, you can also sort these by using the R1, L1. So if I press R1, it will change the sorting. And if I press L1, it'll reverse the sorting. So L1 just reverses it, and R1 goes to the next type of sorting. Now let's go ahead and swap it back to English so we actually can read everything. And you can press Y, and you'll actually get access to the top right advanced search, where you can filter out by the tier, and you can select if you want it to be a stackable card or not. So for example, I have a few unstackable cards. Now, currently, I can search for any unstackable, but if I want specifically all unstackable cards, I can select yes, hit search, and there you go. I have unstackable, only selected, and visible. I can go ahead and hit reset, and it'll go back to the way it was. I can also filter by specific tier. At the current moment, by default, you start with only tier 1. So if I select tier 1 and hit search, right, you don't change anything, but I can say, give me all tier 1 that are completely stackable within themselves, and you get that. And of course, this works also with the search. So if I search dam for damage, you have damage up, armor that prevents damage, critical strike, a few different options, and then I can go in here, even with my mouse, it all works, of course, with a mouse, select stack unstackable, and this will only give us these 2 cards, because these are the only unstackable ones that also have the dam in it. Now, if you want to get specific cards, for example, I want to get critical chance, if I search critical dam, then I get a lot of options. But what if I want specifically critical damage? Well, I can go in here and put an exclamation mark at the end. It will take this entire thing and search it as one. So critical dam will return you critical damage. So this is like when you go into Google and put things in quotes to search that exact phrase. It's the same thing, but in this case, you just use an exclamation mark to take everything before it and search just that specifically. That does mean you cannot do something like crit dam because nothing has this specific string, but both crit and dam work because it's fine searching by partials. So the current moment, this crit dam does not get reset when we leave and come back. So if I hit select and go back in, this is still has stuff typed in, and that's something that I will be addressing so that way it gets reset properly. But just go ahead and reset button and you're back to where it was. Inside the game, some small changes. That same button, the select button, now opens your collected cards. So if I press backspace, for example, and give myself a health up and some crit chance and some other cards right now, you can see here are my collected cards, and I can just quickly take a look at them and then go back to where I was doing, and everything's fine. So this update has pretty much been entirely focused on the controller and getting all of that support in. Down the line, when we add more and more and more, we actually can have full proper parity between controller and keyboard and mouse. There's still a few bugs to iron out, of course, but the whole baseline for this, including the localizations of different languages, was kind of the main thing for this month. So I hope you guys enjoyed trying it out. And of course, the early version of this game is available on my Patreon for you to try out if you'd like. Where you can join these wonderful people here in supporting what I do. It really means a lot. If you'd like to join the community, the link would be down in the description as always. And if you're wondering what to watch next, check out this video right here that YouTube thinks is the best fit for you.